After my boyfriend betrayed me, I married my childhood rival. I married my childhood rival right after my boyfriend stabbed me in the back. On the day of our decade, I flew home fresh from graduation, only to see my boyfriend rent every sky screen in Riverdale to wish my sister a happy birthday. Stella kissed the corner of his mouth right in front of me. On camera, tears sparkling, she said, "7 years we've come so far." The whole internet wept over their marathon love story, and I became the homewrecker everyone wanted dead. I walked away with tears in my eyes. My ex, Nelton, begged for a second chance, but I felt absolutely nothing because I'd already signed a marriage certificate with my lifelong nemesis. Before we go on, subscribe and tell us where you're listening from in the comments. When I landed on our deciversary, I had a surprise for Ethan. I was about to head straight to his place when I overheard strangers say, "Ethan booked every sky screen in the city for Stella's birthday. So romantic. Stella is my sister." The smile froze on my face. On the sky screen, Stella hopped up, kissed Ethan and chirped through happy tears, "7 years we've come so far." Ethan tilted his head, smiling at her. "One and only heart of ocean for my one and only. Happy birthday." I stood alone in the empty plaza, the projected light stabbing my eyes. November. Bitter cold. Ethan finally picked up. "Luna, sorry. I was in a meeting," he said. "It's still the middle of the night your side. Calling this early, you must miss me." He sounded like the same old Ethan, gentle only with me. If I hadn't come home early, my throat tightened. I forced the words through clenched teeth. "Are you alone?" "Why, yeah, totally." My heart lurched. Ice flooded my veins. I swallowed the turbulence and answered bitterly, "Do you even remember what today is?" 2. First day of sophomore year. I spotted Ethan across the courtyard. Drop-dead gorgeous, ice-cold, yet patient when he tutored me. I went after him like a maniac. He had a sweet tooth for cookies. I bought an oven the same day. Clumsy me, I burned my hand. It swelled like a blown-up rubber glove 7 days before it healed. For a week I couldn't hold chopsticks or a glass. The night Ethan finally said yes, I never slept. I typed and erased for hours, then at 5 a.m. sent good night. He fired back instantly, "It's good morning, doofus." I squealed and thrashed under my blanket like a worm. Ethan never told me no, except when I asked to go public. He hated the spotlight. But a 16-year-old girl can't keep fireworks in her pocket. I confessed to my sister. Stella swore she'd guard the secret. After senior year, I chose college overseas. Ethan and Stella came to the gate. "I'm leaving," I teased, poking his chest. "You going to flirt while I'm gone?" He caught my hand, brushed my nose with his and laughed. "Stop it. Big sis, I'll watchdog him for you," Stella chirped, shoving me towards security. "Go. You'll miss your flight." One flight later, the two people I loved most were sneaking around behind my back. The clip kept looping on every sky screen. On the call, he hesitated. Then, of course, I remembered our decade. Ethan's soft chuckle. "What present does my girl want?" "The heart of ocean." His smile cracked. The heart of ocean. The only stone of its kind on Earth. Priceless. Legend says whoever owns it finds forever love. Ethan had fastened it around Stella's throat on her birthday. 2 seconds of silence. "Luna, that rock is impossible to source. Pick something else." "Okay." Ethan can't stand drama queens tonight. I refused to behave. "No, I want that one." 3 midnight. My phone buzzed. Older sis throws herself at little sis's man. "Lock your doors." I tapped in. The star was me. My private Insta diary started 2 years back to log couple memories. Now it was proof I'd knowingly played mistress. Each caption sliced like glass. They'd attached a snapshot. Me at the jet bridge, staring up at the sky screen hollow-eyed. My fingers shook as I scrolled the comments. A mudslide of hate pinned me down. "Luna's a side chick. Gross. All homewreckers should just die." Post after post. "Die Luna." The only light in the dark bedroom blinked off. I hugged myself and couldn't stop shivering. My ringtone exploded. I inhaled, picked up. "Wow, Luna, you actually made trending tag. Impressive." Adrian, my nemesis, his draw lazy and amused. I could picture the smirk without opening my eyes. I should have hired someone to beat him up before this. "So little crybaby, the headline's true. Didn't think you had the guts." "I'm not." I meant to roar, but it came out a sob. Exactly the proof he needed. Pathetic, I muttered, hung up, and buried my head in the pillow. For Stella and I look similar. Pass us on the street and you'd swear we were twins. That night I dreamed of a corporate banquet years ago. Ethan wasted on top-shelf bourbon. I studied him through a back alley shortcut. Feeling wicked, I whispered, "Brother, if Big Sis catches us like this, we're toast." He lifted his head. His eyes were sober shards. "She'll never know." Ethan pinned me to the bricks and kissed like a hurricane. Nothing like his usual tenderness. All teeth and heat and claim. When he let me breathe, I panted, "You always this friendly when you're drunk? Promise me you won't do this with anyone else." His stare bored through me as if searching for someone else behind my pupils. I jerked awake. The ceiling was blank. My pillowcase was damp and cold. My screen still glowed on Ethan's chat. He texted, "Morning at dawn." I ignored it. He followed up, "When did you get back?" Still ignoring. Finally, "Online trolls love fiction. You're not buying it, right?" I'd asked for the heart of ocean as a test. Would he pick me or Stella? A decade doesn't vanish overnight. Part of me still waited for Ethan to choose me. I got it. He sent a photo of the necklace on black velvet. My nose stung. Emotions tangled. Minutes crawled before the next bubble appeared. "I'm sorry." Dream shattered. Tears flooded out. Ethan rarely strings that many words together. Man, a few words, yet I answered every syllable with paragraphs. "Your stomach sucks. Eat breakfast. No all-nighters. Lights out by 11. Feeling blue. Takeouts on the porch. Go grab it. I paid for 10 years of youth and passion and cashed it in for. I'm sorry. 5. Ethan paid to scrub the trending tag. But the stain had already soaked in. Vanstock took a dip. The second the bell rang, my father called. "Luna, how could you be stupid enough to pull something like this?" He didn't wait for an answer, just unloaded on me. I never got a syllable in. Results are all that matter. He drilled into my sister and me since we could walk. Irritated, I held the phone a few inches from my ear. The last thing I caught was, "You're done with grad school anyway. Report to the office tomorrow." Before I could object, he killed the call. I was slapped with the title of deputy director. Stella was now my division head. New broom sweeps clean. And I was already branded the other woman. The instant I stepped off the elevator, the chatter died. Desks became bunkers. I snapped to monitors. The floor sounded like a morgue. I stopped at the nearest cubicle and handed over a stack of folders. "Hi, could you compile these?" They stared so hard at their keyboards, I half expected the letters to ignite. Stilettos clicked closer in the corridor. The door swung open. "Lynn, a word." "Stella." The woman who'd ignored me sprang up, beaming. "Coming, Stella." Just before the door shut, Stella shot me a smile that said, "Score one for me." I stood there, mouth bitter with defeat. Lunch break, ladies' room. I was about to push the stall door when voices floated in. "Stella, you're a saint letting that homewrecker work under you." Stella sighed theatrically. "Dad wants her here. I don't want him stressed." Nepo baby versus real talent. So unfair. Honestly, you'd be better off sisterless. Stella played innocent. "Don't be mean. My sister has qualities." The softer she acted, the louder the cheering section became. They tore into the mistress like a pack ready to lynch. My head throbbed. I yanked the door open. The gossip screeched to a halt. "Cat, got your tongues?" I surveyed their panicked faces. Heads ducked. They scurried out like rats. Stella dried her hands and flicked her hair. "Sis, game over. You lose." Only the two of us remained. I confronted her. "You bought that trending tag, didn't you?" She blinked, all wounded doe. "Own your mess, sis." Then, smirking, she stepped close and hissed, "Even if you confess now, who do you think they'll believe?" Her nails bit into my arm. I hissed at the burn. 6. Murphy's Law punched me in the face. After clocking out, I ran straight into Stella. Worse, Ethan was idling at the curb to pick her up. Must be nice having a hot CEO chauffeur. A dream guy like that. I'd need a lighthouse to find one. It was Len again, practically glued to Stella's heel, grinning ear to ear. Spotting me, she rolled her eyes. Well, I'd never steal my little sister's man. Some tramps can't even give themselves away. Ethan strolled up just in time to hear every word. He didn't bother correcting her. His gaze slid past me like I was glass. 2 beats of silence, then he murmured to Stella, "Let's go." Not a single syllable in my defense. My heart sank. When Stella reached for his hand, he sidestepped. Lynn kept chirping, "Why no PDA dance? Show the world so homewreckers get the hint. Some skanks." Ethan silenced her with a glare. Stella's smile collapsed. She glowered at me, venom flashing. A blink later, she was all sugar again. "Come on, babe. I'm starving." Before leaving, she mouthed, "Just wait." 7. Ethan barged in while I was admiring the Heart of Ocean necklace. Sweat dotted his forehead. He was still catching his breath. "Stella's missing. Luna, I screwed up. Take it out on me. She's your sister. How could you?" I caught his drift, eyes widening. "You think I abducted her?" He looked at the floor, fists clenched. "Stella's loved by everyone. You're the only one with motive." Betrayal roiled in my gut. My lips trembled. "What about me?" Cold spread outward from my chest. My eyes burned. 10 years. What were they worth? Tell me, did you ever love me, or was it just because I look like Stella? Ethan shut his eyes. "I'm sorry. The confirmation speared me anyway." Tears spilled like broken beads. "That's it. Sorry." My voice cracked. I gulped air but couldn't breathe. Crumpling, I seized his sleeve. "Asthma hospital." His phone rang. "Stella's safe." "Got it. On my way." Audie lay sprawled, pleading, "Take me, please." Dying, I clung to my only lifeline. He hesitated 2 seconds. Then he peeled my fingers off. "Sorry, Stella needs me." Ethan walked away without looking back. I watched the door swing shut, tears slipping silently. I wanted to scream why, but every exhale tightened the vice. I stopped fighting and let the darkness roll in. 9 white ceiling, white walls. "Heaven has fluorescent lights," I muttered. "Stop sentencing me. I've got plans." Adrian leaned against the rail. I squeezed my eyes shut. Of course it would be him. Death might have been kinder. Our moms were college besties, so we'd grown up at war. Sandbox to boardroom. How did I get here? Why were you in my apartment? He shrugged, legs crossed. "Called you. Sensed a pity party, decided to crash it." I hurled a pillow. Mid-scuffle. My phone rang. "Luna. They found Stella." Ethan started. "We're done." 12 words. Zero concern for my pulse. I forced out, "Fine." The TV cut to breaking news. "Ethan and Stella. Engagement announcement. Your guy's getting hitched. And the bride's the other chick." Adrienne's eyes bulged. "Don't give me that look. Only the blind could miss how glued you were to him." I dropped my gaze and laughed. One broken note. Everybody saw how much I loved him. Only Ethan tossed it aside. I refused to accept it. The pristine white sheet crumpled under my clenched fist. I forced the turbulence inside me to settle, then looked at Adrian. "Marry me. What do you say?" He blinked, startled, then slowly uncrossed his long legs. Must be sicker than I thought, because for a split second I could swear delight flashed through his eyes. He turned dead serious. "You sure you've thought this through?" When the marriage certificate was actually in my hand, I felt dazed. After 10 years of loving one man, I hadn't married him. I turned around and married my lifelong nemesis instead. On a whim, I posted a photo from my private Insta diary. It blew up. 10. My phone erupted with notifications and I thought the online mob had come for me again. The comment section under that post was on fire. "Is that Adrian next to her? Adrian of Sterling Quantum Forbes cover Adrian. I'd happily drive luxury cars and live in a hilltop estate if I could marry Adrian. Wake up, girl upstairs. You're drooling on my head." The memes cracked me up. My mood soared. Right then my coworker Saline messaged about a shopping trip. I replied, "Absolutely. Mall." I spotted 2 all too familiar silhouettes and wondered if I needed a temple exorcism. How else could I keep bumping into Ethan and Stella? But they stuck like slime. No amount of shaking worked. Coincidence? Please. I turned to Saline. "You set this up?" She gave an awkward chuckle and scurried off. Ethan and Stella walked up. "Long time no see," they greeted. I was in a scarlet maxi dress. Ethan's eyes flickered with unmistakable appreciation. I kept my face cold and spun to leave. Luna. Ethan hesitated. Since we're over the heart of the ocean, I gave you a diamond that symbolizes love. Wearing my ex's rock would be ridiculous. I put it on my dog. Problem? I smiled. Ethan looked like he'd swallowed a fly. I pointed at the blouse in Stella's hands. I'll take that. Wrap it up. The sales associate looked pained. That's the last piece. I flashed a take-no-prisoners smile and waved at half the racks. These rose too, including what she's holding. Stella's voice went silent. Her face paled and I was spitting fire. I dug through my bag for my phone. Dead. I hugged the brick-sized thing and stared at the associate. Stella caught my panic, gloating. Sis, let me guess. No wallet, dead phone. Me? I'll pay. Ethan reached for his QR code. A hand blocked him, tendons sharp, fingers long. No one pays for Vance merchandise except Vance. Adrian nudged Ethan aside, tugged me into his arms and handed the cashier a card. Run this, Adrian. I looked up. Fringes of hair brushed his hard brow. Cunning glinted in those peach blossom eyes, faint red tinting their turned tails. Objectively, he was even better looking than Ethan. My heart pounded. Adrian leaned in and whispered, What's your pin, by the way? Sneaky bastard. Only then did I notice the card he'd handed over was mine. Adrian, you. No wonder my heart raced. I was furious. Adrian, it's been a while. Ethan recovered from his shock. You two together? I tilted my head, lazy. None of your business. Stella sized Adrian up, jealousy twisting her face. Sis, you just love stealing, don't you? I laughed coldly. How it feels to steal. Pretty sure you wrote the manual. Ethan's hand twitched. His gaze slid away. Adrian finished paying and walked out. I followed. In my peripheral vision, Ethan kept staring, stunned. No one noticed Stella lower her head, eyes stormy with madness. I sat in Adrian's car. A fresh orange peel scent drifted over. New cologne? I asked. Nah, just toss some oranges in here. He coughed, stare fixed on the road. You get car sick, remember? The tips of his ears burned crimson. I lifted a brow, surprised. I hopped out midway. Adrian couldn't resist a parting shot. Sure you won't ride with me? You look fragile. Might get abducted. I punched his arm. Turns out the jinx was real. Seconds before the ketamine spray knocked me out, I cursed him in my head. Cold water slapped me awake. Voices sharpened. Stella, let's wrap this. This derelict isn't safe. A man I didn't know. Stella cut him off. I opened my mouth. No sound. She laughed. Shrill. Don't bother, sis. I shot you up. No voice for you. She slapped me, eyes vicious. Why was everything yours since we were kids? Top grades yours. Mom's love yours. Everyone orbited you. Even Dad said Vance would be yours. Her hand clamped my throat. Why? Then Ethan appeared. The one person who wanted only me. So I faked a kidnapping. Finally I won. Her face contorted. She snatched a knife. If your face is ruined, will Adrian still love you? She lunged. Just as the blade flashed, the building shuddered and began to crumble. Stella paled, sprinted for the exit. The drug was still heavy in my veins. I couldn't stand. I watched a boulder crash down, curled helplessly in the dust. A warm embrace suddenly shielded me. That familiar orange scent calmed me even now. Blood trailed from Adrian's hairline to his chin. Trembling arms pinned open a safe pocket around me. Good thing your GPS pin was on, he murmured, voice weak. I'm okay. Police are coming. He forced a grin, gaze softening as memories flooded in. The first time I saw you, tiny thing hiding behind your mom, I thought, how can someone be this cute? Could look at her forever. Now I finally am. His eyes curved, starlight rippling inside them, then slowly dimmed, pupils losing focus. My heart split later. Why hate me? A helpless smile. Told you Ethan was trash, yet you ran straight to him. You almost killed me. His voice faded until, drained of strength, he collapsed against me. I shook violently, grief sharper than anything Ethan had ever given me, until a bitter mouthful of blood splattered the floor. My injuries were light, discharged in days. Back at Advance, I was summoned to the executive penthouse. Dad. I pushed open the door. Stella was already inside, calm as you please. She greeted me with a sweet smile as if nothing had happened. Yet I caught the flash of evasion in her eyes. Plain guilt. I heard you haven't been in the office the last few days. What's going on? Of course, my darling little sister tried to have me killed, and I slipped the trap. I smiled faintly. Dad, you've been losing sleep over a manufacturer. I found the perfect one. There's still no proof of the kidnapping. I can't alert the snake. I don't trust anyone else to go, but these last few days have been crazy. I'll go. Stella jumped up at once. She's been stuck at division head forever now. I parachuted in as deputy director, and I'm clamping down on her. Stella isn't about to let any chance to shine slip by. Light burst in, slicing the room into black and white. Half my face stayed hidden in shadow. My eyes were unreadable. But even without evidence right now, I'll make sure she doesn't have it easy. I moved into Adrienne's place. That night I drank a lot. The alcohol hit hard. When I started to sway, a pair of warm, large hands caught me. You just got out of the hospital. Go easy, Adrienne murmured, his breath brushing my ear. My heart missed a beat. He'd only just been discharged. Gao still wrapped his hand. Adrienne's almond eyes are gorgeous, lethal when he smiles. I don't know what possessed me, but I slid my arms around his neck. Adrienne, my heart's racing. His Adam's apple dipped. His breathing turned ragged. I tried to stand and leave. He yanked me back. One hand cradled the back of my head. Then he tilted and kissed me. Unhurried. He tore the bandage free and used it to bind my wrists. Tease and run. I'm no slouch in stamina. Still, there's no competing with the natural. The next morning, I ached everywhere on the way to work. In the break room, a knot of people buzzed around Stella. Stella, early congrats. Land this project and you'll shoot straight to the top. We'll be counting on you, boss. Their faces creased with endless smiles as they fawned over her. I watched Stella's gloating grin climb toward the ceiling and said nothing, coldly amused. The higher you climb, the harder you fall. The fall came faster than I expected. Stella practically danced into the executive penthouse. She came out with red-rimmed eyes. I widened my eyes in faux concern. Oh dear, what happened? Richard's furious scolding leaked through the door. You can't handle the simplest thing. All you do is cry. He paced in agitation. The supplier implodes and the whole supply chain goes down with it. The entire floor held its breath. I picked up the folder I prepared and strolled over. Dad, this manufacturer is interested. Take a look. The assistant skimmed the file, joy almost spilling out. They're bigger than the last one and far more cost-effective. I smiled with confidence. And the owner's a friend. He'll throw in a nationwide rollout for free if we sign long-term. Weariness lifted from Richard's eyes. He nodded, relieved. Good. Good. I replaced Stella as division head. She was shipped off to an advanced satellite office. The colleagues who once flattered her now took the long way around. Stella's face turned the color of slate. Bloodshot eyes fixed on me. She shouted. You planned this, didn't you? I lifted a brow and chuckled. Yep. So, what are you going to do about it? Stella never got the chance to swing. Richard's birthday gala arrived. I wore a violet mermaid gown and delivered the toast from the stage. Ethan jerked his gaze away from me. Stella shrieked. I called you 3 times. Can't take your eyes off her. Ethan frowned, irritation plain. Cut the drama, Stella. Not here. From the podium I heard every word. The corner of my mouth curled. Later in the garden courtyard I stepped out for air. Ethan was there. I turned to leave. He caught my wrist. Luna, I ran into you at the mall last week. Never thought you and Adrienne would be a thing so fast. I gave a cold laugh. Not as fast as you. Lining up the next girl before we were done. He choked on the words, silent for a long moment. Finally he ground out. You look stunning tonight. A shadow cut him off. The intruder shoved Ethan's hand away, snarling. Keep your hands to yourself. Don't you have your own wife? Adrienne pulled me against him. The scent of orange swept over me and every muscle loosened. Ethan stumbled back 2 steps, complexion cycling through every shade. He stammered. You two are married? Ethan couldn't believe it. After 2 beats he asked carefully. Luna, you and Adrienne hated each other. Hell, are you saying you married him just to spite me? I snorted. Important. You think I'd legally bind myself to someone just to bug you? Adrian lifted his chin, letting his gaze rake over Ethan. Who says we were ever on bad terms? He dipped and kissed me, then eyebrow cocked. See it clearly? Want an instant replay? I no longer remember when Ethan walked away. I only felt my cheeks burn hotter. Adrian shook my shoulder, teasing. Brain short-circuited. I couldn't stop grinning. I smacked him. You're the shorted one. We tussled like kids. For a second, the last 10 years felt like a dream. We still bicker. We still make up. Nothing ever changed. Back inside, Ethan hadn't spoken since returning. He just poured whiskey down his throat. Stella thought she'd upset him and tried to soothe him. He mumbled, Luna's married. How could she marry someone else? Stella's face drained. Luna married to Adrian? Jealousy chewed at her until it filled every vein. She'd schemed for months and gained only Ethan. Now she stared at the drunk, broken man and felt fire crawl up her throat. She yanked the bottle away. Stop it. Ethan, half-conscious, shoved her hard. I drink if I want. Who are you to say? Stella hit the floor stunned. Ethan had always been gentle. This was the first time she'd seen him explode. Fury swelling, Stella stalked off. Soon after the public announcement of the Vance engagement, the old #HomeWreckerLuna surged back to the top. Why isn't Luna engaged? Doesn't she want to be? Ethan, run. She's glued on and won't let go. No mystery whose bots pushed it. I casually tossed up our marriage certificate. Married. Don't at me. Within seconds, the post broke 1 million likes. The internet combusted. Wait, Luna married Adrian? Then how is she the side chick? Adrian leaves Ethan in the dust. LOL. I always knew that rumor was fake. Zoom in. Luna's face is unreal. I ship. The home wrecker tag vanished. Adrian commented with a kissing emoji sticker. Everyone who'd been gawking at the dance engagement stamped to our thread. Ethan showed up unannounced while I was still in bed. A light rain was falling. Adrian clung to me like an octopus. I'd gone to bed way too late last night. So when the ringtone hauled me awake, I irritably jabbed the reject button. It rang again. No choice. Picked up. Ethan started cautiously. Luna, I'm downstairs. He tested the waters. I brought the red bean smoothie you love. Not interested. I cut him off flat. I stopped drinking that years ago. The word slammed Ethan like a gut punch. When had he lost track of something as simple as my taste? He refused to quit. Luna, I'm sorry. The phone was snatched from my ear. Adrian didn't bother with hello. She said, no. Are you deaf? Adrian killed the call, tossed the phone aside and pulled me tighter. He mumbled. Wounded, why waste breath on him? Buried against Adrian's chest, I curved a tiny secret smile. Even his body wash smelled of oranges. I inhaled greedily and teased. Somebody's jealous, sour as citrus. The rain hadn't let up. I never expected to run into Ethan outside Vance. I pretended not to see and kept walking, but he grabbed my wrist. Dark half-moons bruised his eyes. The whites were bloodshot. He hadn't slept in days. Luna, I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. Please don't marry Adrian. A brittle laugh spilled out of me. I looked him up and down ice cold. Classic official arsonist bans citizens from lighting candles. Once our divorce is final, what then? I slide back into the role of your convenient mistress? I'll break it off with Stella. Let's get back together, Luna. Please. I kept my face turned away. Hope flared in him. He barreled on. What's so great about Adrian? All cheekbones and entitlement. Probably somebody's pampered toy. Tech Titan. More like legs wide open for every backer on the way up. I spun and slapped him twice, crisp and hard. If that's how you think fortunes are made, CEO Vance, enlighten us. Did you climb the same greasy ladder? My glare could have frozen the pavement. This is a corporate headquarters, not a fish market. Take the stink elsewhere. Our scuffle had drawn a crowd. Whispers fluttered behind manicured hands. I spun on my heel and left. For good measure, I pivoted back and kicked him twice. I popped my umbrella open and slid into Adrian's car. The downpour intensified, silver needles on black glass. Ethan sprinted after me, coatless. Rain plastered his shirt to his skin. He slapped a palm against the window, frantic. Luna, I don't speak my name. It's filthy in your mouth. I didn't give him room to apologize. I nodded at Adrian and we pulled away. Thunder cracked. Ethan's knees buckled. He dropped into a puddle. Voice cracking on a hell. Tears mixed with rain falling like broken beads behind the tail lights. I posted every screenshot, photo, and receipt from our decadiversary. 10 years condensed into one damning thread. Then wiped every trace of Ethan from my phone. The plot twist blindsided the internet. The popcorn crowd couldn't believe their eyes, but the receipts were bulletproof. Public opinion swung overnight. Suddenly, Stella was the national punchline. Ethan's skeletons were paraded until even his underwear drawers were trending. Pocketed my phone. Right then the rain stopped. Adrian groused. Still can't believe that parasite keeps crawling back. I smiled. He won't anymore. Sunlight poured through the parting clouds. The road ahead glittered like molten gold. I drove toward it, rearview mirror empty for the first time in 10 years. Adrian had meetings, so he left me the car. Halfway home my eyelid twitched like a metronome on speed. I tried to ignore the premonition. One heartbeat of distraction. A sedan screamed across the divider and arrowed straight for my door. Behind the wheel, Stella's hoarse voice was a feverish lullaby. Just die. She laughed, pupils blown wide with mania. Bang! Metal folded, glass bloomed. Head snapped sideways in unison. 21. When the hospital called, Adrian had already cataloged 300 ways to follow Luna into the dark. He sprinted to the emergency bay like a man pursued. Finding me intact in the corridor, he burst into tears that shook his whole frame. I thought you were. I patted his back. Phone shattered. Had to borrow the nurse's landline. Stella aimed for me. I swerved. She kissed a maple instead. A doctor pushed through the swinging doors, shaking his head. I'm sorry. Family can say goodbye. Adrienne's shoulders were still jerking with leftover panic. Go in. I'll wait. Stella lay motionless from the waist down. Sheets rust red. Her lips twitched into a rueful smile. I lost. Congratulations. Couldn't beat you at 12. Still can't know. I answered with a soft aching curve of my own. While you partied, I studied till 2 a.m. on a school night. The boy I loved for 10 years you stole between brunch and dinner. And Mom, she died fetching your red bean smoothie, struck by a delivery truck. My fingers curled, nails biting flesh until the tremor passed. As kids, whenever Stella ran a fever, she craved red bean smoothies. I'd fry the scalding bowl, spoon-feed her like a delicate bird. She'd drain the last drop and coo. Adrian. Adrienne's sister. Later, when Adrian tugged my braids, Stella slapped his hand away. Leave my sister alone. A decade later, those memories feel like relics from someone else's life. Voice thick, I corrected her. You're wrong. I'm the loser. I lost my sister. Color drained from Stella's face. Her lashes fluttered shut. A single tear slid to the pillow. Quiet apology. No second chance could answer. 22. I saw Ethan again at Siebes. His skin was shallow. Eyes two burned out sockets in a motionless face. When the aide set lunch in front of him, he erupted, hurling the tray. Get out. I want Luna. Food splattered his clothes. He sat in the mess. Dignity shredded. Once the aide retreated, silence swallowed the room. He stared at the window, solitude pressing on his lungs like a stone. After the day I left him in the rain, word was he crawled inside a bottle and never came up for air. Vance forgotten. Multiple alcohol poisonings. Stomach pumped. Tabs left unpaid. The Vance name slid downhill so fast even the gossip columns lost interest. Come on, Adrian said, threading his fingers through mine. We shouldn't keep Dad waiting. Married months now, yet this was my first time bringing Adrian home to Richard. He'd already promoted himself to son without bothering to ask. I shot out a hand to tickle his ribs. He twisted away, muscle memory perfect. Same old trick. I dove again. We devolved into a laughing tangle until our driver cleared his throat. Inside Richard's suite, Dad tapped the air, mock scolding. I could hear you bullying Sheehan down the hallway. Grown woman, still a kid. Adrian, Adrian, Adrian. Next time she gets rough, I've got your back. Adrian lifted an eyebrow, victory sparkling. Got it, Dad. Laughter bounced off mahogany walls. Richard's smile dimmed. He looked at his shoes, voice wobbling. If only your sister were here. That damned car crash. I never told him Stella's crash was no accident. Adrian met my gaze. Silent, he steered the conversation back to safe harbors. On the drive home, Adrian coasted to a halt beside a boutique window where a mannequin bride glowed under spotlights. Wife, he said, I star bright. Let's throw the wedding we never had. I lifted my chin, playing regal. Depends on Her Majesty's mood. Adrian bowed with theatrical gravity, hand extended like a loyal eunuch. Your carriage awaits, Your Highness, this way. Behind us, the season's first white camellia had opened against the brick. Ahead, 1,000 more waited their cue to bloom.